We are about a week out from Valentine's Day, February 14th. And even if you sell digital products that customers can buy as an instant download, here is why you should not be focusing on Valentine's Day products at this point. Hey, it's Rebecca. Welcome back to Etsy and Ecom with the Professional Mom. Here I am talking about selling on Etsy in all formats from digital, physical, handmade, print on demand, and how to take the skills you are learning there to launch into other online businesses and diversified income streams based on what you're learning in the Etsy platform. I wanted to first start with a quick check-in and say I cannot believe that 2025 has already passed through the first month. I hope your January was really great for those of you who have started new businesses or continued growing an existing one. For me personally, January was not too exciting. I saw a lot of that post-holiday, post-Christmas sales slump like a lot of sellers do see, but I will talk about all of that in an upcoming episode. For now, I wanted to talk to those new sellers who are thinking about what to put in their shop month by month and how to start looking at the bigger picture and posting products for the right holidays at the right time. Seasonal planning is absolutely important in any business, even if you are selling only evergreen products. Knowing which holidays are coming up, knowing which are huge for sales, especially in certain categories or certain product lines, and of course, knowing which giftable occasions you should be capturing keywords for to get that shopper to come to your shop and purchase for their loved ones before certain birthdays and other milestones. In your personal store, no matter what you're selling, whether it's physical or digital, it's important to recognize what products you have, what those events are for, and capture the shoppers who are potentially shopping weeks in advance, especially, of course, if it's a physical product. In terms of the Etsy algorithm, I can't claim to know any better than everybody else. They all seem to have a little bit of a different opinion. But here's the two schools of thought. Number one is that the Etsy algorithm can potentially pick up your new listing instantly, often getting a short-term boost as soon as it's live to see if customers want it and to give it that potential to start selling right away. And a lot of sellers have seen success this way. However, the other school of thought is that it takes the Etsy algorithm potentially closer to 30 to 60 days to really see your product, understand what it is and who it's for, and to start getting it in front of the right customers and the right shoppers frequently enough that you can see sales. Ultimately, I think the truth is that there's a best of both worlds situation here. So, well, yes, it is absolutely possible to post an item and get a sale immediately, especially if you are good on social media platforms and you can drive your own traffic. At the same time, if you think of the long game of Etsy, you do need to consider the fact that items have already been out there for these holidays, even from sellers from last year, the year before, and you putting a Valentine's Day item on the shelf right now is going to be met with huge competition and be really hard to stand out in the sea of products with a listing history, sales history, and positive review history. So, what should we be focusing on instead at the beginning of February? If you didn't already prep for Valentine's Day back in December, just don't panic. Let's plan ahead for the upcoming events. And instead of chasing the traffic for the seasons that are right around the corner, let's earn that competitive advantage for the holidays just up ahead. There are plenty of other holidays in spring that we can get ahead of, and that's what I'm spending my time focusing on here in February. Depending on your niche and if your product line or type has a way to position itself in one of these areas, I would spend more time creating new product lines or creating new style types, maybe bringing out more color options for these upcoming events and positioning your keywords to capture shoppers for them, as opposed to something like a Valentine's Day that is just a week or two away. Of course, in spring, you've got St. Patrick's Day, which is about a month out. And that's right around that goal time that I think the algorithm would really pick up. And I think that St. Patrick's Day is just a really fun holiday. People that are shopping for that are often looking for new quirky shirts to wear out to the bar with friends or to celebrate with green everything, depending on how much they like to accessorize. So if you have a line and you can do something as simple as offering it in a green variation and label it St. Patrick's Day blank with a shirt, gift, accessory, merch, anything of the sort, that's going to be a great way to try to pivot into one of these holidays. Of course, right after that, you have other huge holidays like Easter. Then in May, you've got Mother's Day, June, Father's Day. Right around the end of spring, you have graduations for every grade level. So whether it's a pre-K graduation, middle school, high school, college graduations, grad school graduations, specialty schools, technical colleges, all types of events there. And in spring, you can start looking ahead to summer. And there's always going to be plenty of events and themes there as well. So we'll get into specific ideas for that when it gets a little closer, but you can see how with all of these opportunities up ahead, spending time on Valentine's Day is just, I'd say, too little too late. So I always say I'm all about the action items in taking away from listening to a podcast like this, or if I take a course, I want to make sure that I take all that information and have something tangible lined up for me to do next in order to take advantage of all of the new information in my head. With my thoughts from today in terms of looking ahead 30 to 60 days at minimum, what I would do is create a content calendar and a product calendar for your shop. Think about what you currently have and how you can build that out into different product lines for different holidays and different seasons. And then lay them out on your calendar, but plan for launches, I'd say 2 to 3 months at minimum in advance. So here in February, it'd be ideal to be creating all of your Easter products right now and getting them live. The great thing is that Etsy listings are only 20 cents for a 4-month time period, so you're not losing money by creating it too early. I can definitely see how new sellers, especially trying not to invest too much money up front, might be a little concerned about spending that money for listings that they know aren't going to sell in the very near future. But you can be mindful of that and still take advantage of this 4-month window in terms of not getting so far ahead that you know for a fact you'll have to renew the listing before it sells. So for instance, it's February. I am not starting to post my Christmas content or my Christmas product lines because I know for a fact that some of them will not sell in the summer and they won't start selling until potentially closer to October. So I will probably make those listings go live again in maybe closer to September. If I make them live in September, then I get my 4 months, September, October, November, December, and my 20-cent listing will cover that whole fourth quarter. There are definitely exceptions to this, and there are products that sell all year round for Christmas, like ornaments, which can sell for milestones, anniversaries, weddings, newborn babies, all types of things. So again, just take the information and keep it in the back of your head, but recognize there's always a caveat and there's always a reason you might want to do the opposite of something that someone is telling you, even me. But in terms of the general guidelines or the general best practices for holidays and wanting to not overinvest too far in advance, I would say look ahead that 4 months and see what your listing will pay for as you post it. And then try to capitalize on that opportunity as early as possible. This is the approach I took when I first started selling digital holiday printables, and it really worked for me because I was able to get traction for new listings, have a 4-month time period before the holidays, so I felt ready. And then when the time came, and it was like a February with a last minute push, I wasn't creating new products for Valentine's Day at this point. I was able to focus on the social media side and pushing out daily content to Facebook, Instagram, and getting new fresh pins out on Pinterest. Ultimately, what your workflow is and what your timeline is always completely up to you. That is part of the wonderful thing about being an entrepreneur. But that is my 2 cents for today. And I essentially just wanted to remind you that it's never too late to start planning smarter. Take 30 minutes after you listen to this episode today to just map out your next seasonal launch. If you are anything like me at all, I have a feeling it is going to give you a sense of clarity, a sense of focus, and a sense of satisfaction knowing that you are not chasing the holidays, you are finally prepared in advance. That's it for today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, but give you some food for thought in case you are a new seller wondering what you should and shouldn't be spending a ton of time designing for here in February. If you liked this episode, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. It is a new show airing every Wednesday to help you with online business stemming from Etsy and seeing how you can look outside the box, take those skills, and earn money in various diversified income streams online. As always, I am here to help in any way I can, and I am just grateful to know that there's anybody out here listening to this podcast. If you have any questions or feedback for me, shoot me a message at hi@theprofessionalmom.com. I will leave that in the show notes below and would love to hear from you and capture any frequently asked questions or specific feedback that would help you in your journey as well in my upcoming episodes. Until next time, goodbye.